Please join me in a warm welcome to Dave Mitchell.
Thank you very much. Thank you. Thank you for being here. I just have to start out with something to prove that I was here on this day. Yes, very good. And I'll turn my cell phone off. And just before I get into the program, I want to just mention a few things. St. Andrew's Presbyterian Church, when you're a young person growing up, that's a hard word to spell. I couldn't even fit all the letters across the screen. And somebody pointed out to me that you can rearrange these letters. Where did the I go? Oh, here it is. Okay, all right. Best in prayers, but we don't brag about that too much because it can also be rearranged in another way. Britney Spears, yes. Who would have thought that that would work? And you know, this is the old technology, an old overhead projector, and I taught high school math grades 9 to 13 for 30 years, and I used this. The blackboard I use for little side examples, but I use this because you have vis-a-vis, right, face-to-face. And I was told by a conference person that I needed to go digital because nobody uses this technology anymore. And I said, yeah, but you can't do stuff like this with the how do you do that on PowerPoint, right? You know how many slides that would take to do, so you just can't do it. Now, I'll tuck these away for a minute. And, oh yeah, they're all static cling. Just a little bit of history here. Oh, that floated up. Okay. So this is me in 1974 at Althouse College. Look at that here. Now, I was Mac the Knife. I was McKeith in a production of the Three Penny Opera. And anybody know who this is? It's Catherine Hoddle. She was my girlfriend, the character in the play, right? Not in real life, but just in the play, in Mac the Knife. And there I am with a head of hair in 1974, and this is what 49 years of raising 3 children, teaching adolescents, etc., did. But my wife thinks that bald guys are handsome, so I'm okay. Just one more thing to go back to here. This was a rock group I was in. I actually had shorter hair, and this was in the late 60s, but we've had that look of the late 60s. And this is me over here. We still keep in touch. All of us are still intact, and we keep in touch, and it's a lot of fun. Oh, well, thank you. So, we had that summer weather a week and a half ago. We had summer in April. And I was out for a walk, and there was a woman coming the other way on the sidewalk, and we greeted each other with a good morning. I said, "Are you enjoying the day?" She said, "Yeah, it's fantastic, but I'm worried." And I knew exactly what she meant. I mean, it's really bizarre to have summer in mid-April, right, those temperatures. But when I was growing up, and I still am not a big fan of winter. I wondered why people just didn't move south, right? Because there are places in the world where you have summer all year round. But we had to stick it out here. So I want to sing a song for you. And we are coming to the end of winter. We're into spring, and pretty soon it'll be the warm temperatures again. So this is a song that I wrote way back in the early 80s about a young man who hated Canadian winter. And he needed to escape to a warmer climate, but he didn't have the cash to do it. And so he had to call on his parents, in this case specifically his dad, for a little bit of help. Steel-belted radial tires are starting to slip as I drive in the snow. My heater ain't working, I'm freezing my tail, 'cause outside here it's 30 below. My fingers are numb and my breath is a vapor trail, this awful wintry show. It's causing me pain. Why would anyone live here is something that I'll never know. So won't you buy me a condo in sunny Orlando where I can go out wearing shorts, play golf with my buddies, drink beer in the sunshine, score on the shuffleboard courts, visit Busch Gardens, see girls in bikinis or less, 'cause they're down there, I'm told. Buy me a condo in sunny Orlando, Dad, don't leave me out in the cold. I don't like downhill skis, snowmobiles make me sneeze, and ice skating gives me a chill. So shove your toboggan right up in your attic, 'cause if you won't, you know I will. Scraping this freezing rain off of my car again surely is making me blue. Something much better than cold Arctic weather is waiting, so Dad, please won't you call up and buy me a condo in sunny Orlando. Yeah, Disney World's not very far. Grandma and Grandpa are living in Tampa. I'd love to be where they are. There with the retirees, all live a life of ease. No need to move when I'm old. So buy me a condo in sunny Orlando, Dad, don't leave me out in the cold. Come on and buy me a condo in sunny Orlando, Dad, don't leave me out in the cold. Life won't be very hard, 'cause I'll have your credit card. Goodbye to all this snow. Thank you very much. Thank you. Yes, it is tough to get through the winter, and I am jealous of people who always get away to Florida, but a buddy of mine who was down there said it's getting too hot. It's so hot down there now in the winter that they have to turn the air conditioning on the car every time they go out. So, I realized that the purpose of winter, and it does have a purpose, the purpose of winter is to make us appreciate spring. I mean, who appreciates spring more, us or the people in Florida? Mar-a-Lago, whatever. I mean, it's got to be us. So it does it. I want to tell you a story about some artwork. Years ago, back in the 90s, early 90s, I had a grade 13 calculus class. These were wonderful, wonderful young people. And anyway, the one day I had calculus class with them right before lunch, and one day I had to leave 10 minutes early. And you're not supposed to leave your class unattended for any period of time if you're a teacher. But I said, look, you people are 18 years old. We have good rapport with each other. We respect each other. I don't want to get somebody to babysit you for 10 minutes. So I'm going to leave early. I have to go to a meeting. When it's the end of the class, just walk out, close the door, and it's in the locked position, and I'll see you tomorrow in class. So I knew everything would be fine, and it was. So when I came back, taped to the door was this picture, and it was unsigned. And I'll put it on the overhead here, just a photocopy of it so you can see. And it didn't take me long to realize this was a picture of me, and it was unsigned at the time. And I wasn't offended because I thought it looked very friendly. I particularly loved the little strand of hair at the top with the boy. I thought, hey, that's beautiful. So I took it home and I showed my wife and children. They said, my kids said, Dad, you got to get the artist to sign it. That's fantastic. So the next day I took it into class, the original, and I said, okay, look, I'm not upset. I really love this thing. Can you, the artist, I need you to sign it. My children have asked me to get the artist to sign it. And Andrew Pantelitis put up his hand, and he came up and he signed it. I said, Andrew, thank you. I'm going to keep this. This will be in with my favorite things for the rest of my life, and thank you so much. And I thought that was the end of it until the next day. I went down the hall towards calculus class, And there was a big commotion outside, and I said, "What's going on?" He said, "Mr. Mitchell, you are not going to believe what Andrew has done." And Andrew was an artist. He was not a calculus student. He was an artist. And he had spent the entire night not doing his calculus the night before, but constructing this drawing for me. And I will put it up on the overhead as well, but I'll give you a little glance at it here. And in this picture, now that one I don't know if I can find. Yeah, I'll just have to hold this one up. Yeah, so in this picture I'm in the buff. I'm holding a very strategically placed calculus textbook. And I said, "Andrew, this is fantastic. I really appreciate what you've done." I said, "I already have a name for it. We'll call it Calculus, the Bare Essentials." Now, just think of this. If Andrew Pantelidis ever becomes famous like Picasso, I have two original Pantelidis pieces of art. I mean, they've got to be worth a fortune on eBay, right? I mean, it really something special. Now, I'm going to have to look him up on Facebook and see if I can find him. I think I tried once, but I didn't have luck with that. But some interesting artwork that I got. And I have a suggestion. If you know any teachers, young people just in the teaching profession, say, "I've got an idea for you. Challenge your class to do some artwork, a caricature of you. It has to be friendly. And then post the entries that you get, because you'll get some entries from your class, your students. And then give the winner a little prize, and you'll have your own artwork to collect." So that's something you pass along if you do know any teachers. I want to talk about the lottery, and I'm going to sing you a song about the lottery, and then we'll talk a little bit about it, because lotteries are very interesting. And now we've got all these gambling sites. You know what really bothers me is when the sports heroes advertise for the gambling sites. They don't need the money. I'm really disappointed that they do, but that's my own personal sadness. Seeing those guys, especially Wayne Gretzky. Come on, Wayne. What are you doing? Okay, so here's a story about a woman named Christina. And Christina liked to play Lotto 649. And in the early days, Lotto 649 was only cost $1, right? And Christina bought one ticket a week after week after week, and never won a penny. Until one week, she was doing some cleaning in her attic. And she found an old lamp, and she polished that lamp, and her personal genie appeared, granting her one wish. Think of the possibilities. And being the sporting type that she was, she wished for next Monday's paper in advance. And this is why. "I'll grant you one wish," said the genie to Christina. Without hesitation, she gave her reply. "Next Monday's paper, today, if you would please." The genie produced it, and he knew why. 3, 7, 9, 10, 14, 27 were there on page 1 for Christina to see, with over 5 million at stake for the winner. She'd have it made in the next lottery. She sped to the store where she always played her numbers, put down her dollar and filled in her card. Although she had never collected one penny, this time the winning would not be too hard. 'Cause 3, 7, 9, 10, 14, 27 were there on page 1 for Christina to see, with over 5 million at stake for the winner. She'd have it made in the next lottery. Well, back to her car, and still clutching that paper, the future was printed as it had to be. She glanced at page 2, and her hands left the wheel. 'cause there in bold print her obituary. 3, 7, 9, 10, 14, 27. Now she partakes of the angelic cup. No one has need of 5 million in heaven. She would have won, but her number came up. Thank you. Yes, poor Christina. Anyway, I also had one year, many years, I had a grade 13 algebra class, and we were studying probability. And I noticed in the local paper there was an ad, a full-page ad that would cost thousands of dollars. It said, for $29.95, I think it was, mailed into this address in Hackensack, New Jersey, I will send you information on how to win the lottery. So I took this full-page ad into the classroom next day, and I talked to these young people. I said, look, this has got to be garbage, right? I mean, you can't predict how those balls are going to fall out of that bin. And they said, one boy in the class said, you know, Mr. Mitchell, there are about 30 of us in here today. If we each chipped in a loonie, we could send away to Hackensack to get the lottery information just to see what it was. And we didn't force anybody to participate, but everybody, including me, we all chipped in a loonie and we sent away. Well, finally the information arrived, and it was total garbage. I mean, I took it in, it was good for a laugh, and it only cost us $1 a piece. And I thought that was the end of it, until about 3 weeks later, I arrived home from school one day, and waiting for me was this envelope. Very curious. There was a crucifix up in the corner, and it says, congratulations, be advised that you've been chosen and made a fellowship miracle recipient. A powerful miracle, Cross of Fatima, is working for you as of the date of this certified notice. And I thought, wow, lucky me. And I opened this up, and inside I found a miracle activation card. A miracle activation card. Right now, if it were only that easy, right? Here's your miracle activation card. And this comes with a satisfaction guarantee. And I'll read it for you. With my 24-karat golden miracle cross of Fatima, I can look forward to one miracle after another. If I don't receive at least 2 major miracles, ladies and gentlemen, we're not talking minor miracles. These are major miracles. And I'm guaranteed 2 of them. Otherwise, I can return this for a full refund, but I get to keep the cross anyway. So I took this in and I showed my students, and we had, our dollar was still paying off here. We were getting such enjoyment from this. What I realized was that if I was judged to be dull-witted enough to spend $30 on totally useless lottery information, it was open season on me, I would buy anything, right? So they sent this to me, and I took it into the staff room. And I said, anybody else getting mail like this? He said, no, Dave, it's you. And so I told them the whole background, and they said, you know, there are 30 of us in here. If we each shipped in $1, we could send away and get the miracle activation, send away and get the whole deal. So unfortunately, we didn't do it, and I need a time machine to go back and fix that. I also need a time machine to go back and fix something that happened to me in grade 9. I was an innocent little boy at Eastwood Collegiate, and a girl named Suzanne phoned me in October and asked me if I would go to the Sadie Hawkins dance with her. And I gave the worst possible answer a 14-year-old boy could give to a 14-year-old girl. You're not going to believe this was bad. I said, just a minute, I'll have to ask my mother. So anyway, I need the time machine to go back and fix that. And I need the time machine to go back and get the send in for the miracle activation card. Well, it never stopped. Never stopped. A little bit later, I got this one from Madame Daudette for $29.95 sent into this address in Hackensack. I can get something that's going to help me win the lottery, find love. My wife read this. She said, Dave, find love? You already have it. I said, I agree. I'm happily married. I don't need it. But if I did want it, I have to fill out an oath of secrecy. An oath of secrecy, because this information is so valuable that I can't be sharing it. So Madame Daudette is an astrologer, and she told me that my birth was so significant that it turned up on her own personal astrological charts. Can you believe it? So I didn't send any money in, but I took this in and I showed my students. And my wife said to me, Dave, why are you hanging on to this stuff? And I said, Heather, this is some of the best entertainment I've had in my whole life, and it's absolutely free. So about 2 weeks later, I got the pink follow-up copy with handwritten, machine-generated handwritten instructions on it. I cannot understand why you haven't answered my letter. I do hope you're okay. I mean, obviously, if I haven't answered, I must have been hit by a bus, right? So I can still take advantage of the information that Madame Daudette will give to me. I took it in, I showed my students, and we laughed and we laughed and we laughed. Well, it didn't end. Every 2 weeks I'd come home and I'd find something. I got mail from East Germany, West Germany, Australia, New Zealand, but the best arrived one day. I got home to find an envelope from the World Crystal Center, Security and Safekeeping Division, 382 Main Street, Hackensack, New Jersey. Ownership papers for a 4-million-year-old vibrating crystal. Now, we won't even go there, but I own one. All I have to do is send in the $29.95, and they send me the ownership papers. It is a perfectly valid business transaction. My students howled. It went on and on and on. So finally, it did end, sadly, because I needed to respond more, and I wasn't doing that. But I have a suggestion for you. If you happen to know someone who doesn't have much of a life, and you would like to help that person out, you can come up and copy down the address and send a letter to Madame Daudette or the Vibrating Crystal people or whomever, posing as your friend. Wait about, maybe a month and ask your friend if he or she is getting any interesting mail. So anyway, some interesting stuff. Going in circles. I had a grade 9 remedial math class, and they were nice kids, but they were way behind in math, and they had trouble remembering stuff. And when we were talking about circles, do you think they could remember a radius? So here's a circle. Do you think they could remember a radius from a diameter? Do you think they could remember that the formula for area was pi r squared and the formula circumference was pi d? They couldn't remember. It was so bad, I was tempted to say, when you're doing a problem about area of the circle or circumference of a circle, put down the formula you think is right and stroke it out and use the other one. And I thought, wait a minute, that's no good. So what I did, I fixed it, and what I did was this, and I'm going to show you what this sounded like in song form. I made them do this with me, and they begged for mercy, but I said, come on, I'm leading the charge here, just do it with me. So we did this. Here is a circle. It knows how to get around. It has a radius from center to rim, and its diameter is a line that goes from side to side while passing through the center. Now, isn't that simple? Pi r squared sounds like area to me. When I need a circumference, I'll just use pi d. And I bludgeoned them with that. Till they begged for mercy. And a year later, they showed up on the first day of school. They showed up on my doorstep, classroom doorstep, and they said, we haven't forgotten. We can't get it out of our heads. So what I did was I put it to music and put it on YouTube. So I'll sing it for you, and then I'll tell you what happened. Here is a circle, it knows how to get around. It has a radius from center to rim, and its diameter's a line that goes from side to side while passing through the center. Now isn't that simple? Pi r squared sounds like area to me. When I need a circumference, I'll just use pi d. Pi r squared sounds like area to me. When I need a circumference, I'll just use pi d. La 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 la. And that's the circle song. Thank you. I put it on YouTube. You can look it up. I had to post it 3 times. It's a long story why. But now the total number of views is closing in on 2.8 million. 2.8 million, and there's something like 1,800 comments. I just want to read you some of the comments. And I haven't monetized this, but the comments are my payment. This is the best song I ever listened to. I listen to it when I wake up until I fall asleep. My whole life revolves around it. I am forever grateful. Thank you. You're welcome. This song is such a vibe. You have not lived life if you have not listened to this song. It's the best song I've ever heard, and I would love it if it were to be played not only at my funeral, but also sung during my first dance on my wedding day. I cannot express how in love with this abstract piece of art I am. It actually brings tears to my eyes. The man who made this song is a legend. The circle song should be our national anthem. Every school in the UK has used. I'm big in Britain. I don't know why. It's my favorite song. It's constantly playing on repeat. I'm locked in my room. I haven't eaten in days. This song has lived rent-free in my head for the past 15 years. Whoever made this song is literally the most advanced person I've ever met. Just two more. I am now 20 years old and have absolutely no use for area of a circle. I first listened to this about 6 years ago in my math lesson. I still sing it to myself on a daily basis. Thank you. And the best one of all, call me when the Beatles have contributed to music as much as this song has. Okay, I had a keyboard in my classroom, and I often, would sing math songs and that kind of thing, and I had a lot of fun with it. And the students, at first they thought it was kind of corny, but then they said, "Well, when's the next one?" And so what I'd like to do, and occasionally I would try something out with them, and I would say, "Look. Just tell me honestly, does this work, or do I need to shelve it, or is there any hope here?" So I'm going to try to perform this for you, and I said, "Yeah, just be honest and tell me." And so what it was a song about surfing the net. And when the internet first became popular in the mid-90s. There were a lot of people who overdosed on the internet. I knew people who had to set an alarm clock to tell them when to go to sleep at night, because they were tempted to stay up until wee hours in the morning. So I put together this song, and then I performed it for my students, and they said, "Yeah, it's not bad.
Now you know the
you should go for it." So here it is. It's called "Hey, I Want to Surf the Net."
Hey, I wanna surf the net. It's 2 a.m., but I'm not done yet. Hey, I wanna surf the net. It started several months ago. My computer was processing much too slow. I got upgraded, got online, and since then I've been surfing overtime. Yahoo! I'm on the World Wide Web when all my family's tucked in bed. I've made new friends, not face to face, but I chat them up in cyberspace. Hey, I wanna surf the net. It's 2 a.m., but I'm not done yet. Hey, I wanna surf the net. One site leads here, another there. What's the subject? Hey man, I don't care. New information is the key. It's my virtual reality. My wife slides dinner under the door. My kids think I don't exist anymore. But I'm right here, can't get enough of all of this important stuff. Hey, I wanna surf the net. It's 2 a.m., but I'm not done yet. Hey, I wanna surf the net. just got an email from my wife, and she said that I should get a life. I was wondering what could be the cause. I was wondering where my dinner was. She and the kids have skipped the state because I don't communicate. But I say we could talk just fine if she would ever get online. Hey, I wanna surf the net. It's 2 a.m., but I'm not done yet. Hey, I wanna surf the net. Come on, hey, I wanna surf the net.
Thank you. Thanks very much. Yeah, they told me I should go for it. Now, we're out of time here by the look of it, and but I just wanted to say thanks very much for coming out on a day. It looks like not a bad day out there. Has it started to rain at all, or still good? So I hope you enjoyed lunch. I know it's a wonderful lunch that the WA puts on every week, and I hope to see you again. And with that, I'll bid you a good afternoon. Thanks very much. Thanks a lot. Thank you.